Kripp Sniper Explode Summoner. The good, the bad, the ugly. So, there is no denial that the build is still, at least at the current state of the game, a fan favourite. The early game version of this build and the final version are still in top 3 trending builds for the Witch. But after over 200 hours of playing this build, I can honestly say, it's not what I expected. I mean, it's okay damage-wise, especially against bosses that don't have that much elemental and poison resistance, but it feels very slow compared to any monk or sorceress build I've seen out there. In the early game, I felt very comfortable around it, especially since it looked like one of the easiest builds to pick up. And what I loved the most about it was the fact that I didn't really struggle around campaign bosses. My friends who were trying out monk builds for the first time were playing the game with tears in their eyes when they encountered the bosses of Act 2 and 3. And at that point, I felt really fortunate since for me it was only a matter of 5 to 10 minutes for each attempt. Now, I'd gladly say that after over 1,000 hours in PoE 1, I still see myself as a scandalous beginner. But I guess at this point the only improvements that came along were regarding my general knowledge and reflexes. I hope. But yeah, as you might have seen already in other guides and reviews, the game is harder than the previous one. I mean, we have a separate dodge mechanic now, and that says everything. For the record, I'm just going to group the bad and the ugly in the same category, since it will be easier this way. So, to sum it up real quick. The good. The build feels great in the early game. Every type of enemy feels defeatable, and the minions feel like they deal tons of damage. Great damage dealer against bosses. Most of the times you just need to run around them while the minions do everything for you. Minions might make you feel like someone always has your back and you're not alone in a fight, until they unexpectedly die from an AoE skill of an enemy or something flashy. The learning curve is easy. The build doesn't require too many mechanics to learn. You just press 2 to 3 keys and you're good. Playing the piano is not mandatory. The BadUgly. Tight spaces. GGG made a small improvement in the last patch for the minions to pass more easily through the doors, but that didn't improve the fluidity of the movement and overall feeling of it too much. The guiding of the minions doesn't feel really fluid either, even when pointing them to go in front of you and take the lead. It just feels slow in comparison to other builds like monk and sorceress ones, for example. Some league mechanics like breaches are just painful to do. I had to disconnect so many times because I was so close to die and lose that 10% experience. So overall, I'm not sure if I would recommend this build. I guess it's all about personal preferences. If you don't mind a slower build in late game and maps, then this one should be okay for you. I don't know, maybe I fried my brain a little playing PoE 1 and always being in front and dealing tons of damage in a few seconds, and that's why my expectations were higher in terms of the speed of the gameplay. But maybe you already picked up this build, and in that case, I want to know. What do you feel about it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments. Let's see how this goes. Thanks for watching.